So the holidays are here, and if you need a quick dessert to take to a family function or a work party or whatever it may be, I think I've got a good one for you. So stick around. Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan, and welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm a plant-based RN and I follow the START Solution. The START Solution was a program developed by Dr. John McDougall. If you'd like more information, there is a link to his book in the description box below. On my channel, you'll find quick and easy whole food plant-based recipes. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram. And if you're new to this way of eating or just feel like you need some support, I started a Facebook group. It's a pretty active group. We're like-minded people, and there you will find recipes, pictures, inspiration, and support. So I hope you consider joining. We'd love to have you. There'll be a link to that in the description box below. Today I'm going to be making a super simple cookie recipe. It's 4 ingredients, and you can just throw this together and you will have a delicious treat for your work party or a family function, or if you just feel like having some cookies at home. Full disclosure, this isn't low fat, it is plant-based, and it is gluten-free. So it's going to be on the higher end of the calorie density scale, but this is for a special treat, a party, and it's also okay if you just want to have a special treat for yourself. So let's get started. So here are your 4 ingredients. You're going to need a cake mix, a can of pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie mix, the puree, 3 tablespoons of aqua faba. If you don't know what that is the juice from the can of garbanzo beans, 3 tablespoons of that. That is going to be our egg replacement, and it's going to give this recipe some fluff. And then I've got a cup of chocolate chips. I like to use the Enjoy Life. There's only 2 ingredients in here, and it is unsweetened chocolate and cane sugar. It's free from gluten, wheat, peanuts, tree nuts, dairy, casein, soy, egg, sesame, sulfites, lupin, mustard, fish, shellfish, and crustaceans. So yeah, I like this the best. As far as the cake mix, I have Pamela's, and this is a gluten-free cake mix. If you don't have a problem with gluten, then go ahead and use any kind of cake mix you want. Just make sure that it's vegan, that there's no animal products in it. That would be preferable. So we're just gonna put these 3 into a bowl, mix them up, and then add our chips, and we're ready to bake. So let's get started. So we're gonna add the cake mix to the bowl. I do want to add that I'm using vanilla. You could use a spice cake mix, you could use a white, yellow, whatever you want, but I think this will pair well with the pumpkin. And this cake mix is 21 ounce. I think a regular cake mix is maybe 19 or 20. I don't think it really matters in this recipe. Then we've got the pumpkin we're gonna add in. Now you could actually use sweet potato puree if you wanted. If you don't like pumpkin or you're sick of pumpkin, that would work. I've even seen butternut squash puree. That would be interesting too. All right, let's add our aqua faba, and then we're gonna mix this up. So you just want to make sure this is mixed well. I like to check and make sure there's no dry cake mix hiding down there, and if there is, just mix it in. And then we'll just add our chocolate chips, fold those in. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. Now you can make these really big if you want. On this batch, I'm just gonna use my little melon baller because I'm gonna take these to work and I want this recipe to go farther. So I'm going to use this. I will make them generous scoops though, for sure. I love the color. They're so pretty. All right, I'm gonna finish putting these on the cookie sheets, then we're gonna bake these for 10 to 12 minutes, and then I will show you what they look like. Look at these beauties. See how they're a little bit cracked right there? That's how you want them to be. Really important, do not over bake these. Especially with gluten-free, it's gonna seem like they're not done, but Trust me. I did turn down the second batch. I turned down to 325 and did 12 minutes, and they seemed to come out better. The first batch got a little bit brown, too brown on the bottom at the 350 temperature, so I'm suggesting 325 for 10 to 12 minutes. So let's give these a taste. So this batch made about 3 dozen cookies. So if you make them like this size, you're gonna get about 3 dozen. So that's a pretty good batch. So let's give this a try. I showed you a close-up, but I don't know if you can see. They're, you know, like a little cakey, a little cookie-like with chocolate chips. Mmm. It's so good. Mmm. Now the trick is going to be not to eat these all before I can get them to work tomorrow. I think I'll be okay. So I hope you give this recipe a try. If you're in a pinch and you need to make something quick, this is definitely fits the bill. And like I said, you don't have to use pumpkin puree. You could use sweet potato puree or even butternut puree. And it would be just fine if you're not a fan of pumpkin or you're totally sick of pumpkin by this time. But I still love pumpkin, so I use pumpkin. Thanks for watching today, and remember that all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet, and what you put on your plate determines your fate and your weight. Until next time, thank you. Oh, you little poo-poo. Hi, I'm Debbie Chu.